Yo, 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 two-piece Q in the house. Not really. It's me, Mark White. Good evening. Welcome to Booth Brothers 14. And what a show we have for you tonight. I'm sorry we weren't here last week. We had a few little problems, but we fixed them all. And I tell you, two guests tonight will more than make up for the loss of us last week. Let's introduce very, very quickly Joey Ryan. Where is he? He's there somewhere lurking. There he is. Look, his big headphones are on again.
Yeah, Mark, I had to dress up for the occasion tonight. I had a long day at work and didn't have time to change. But, I got my glass of wine here tonight. I have friends in from California, from wine country, and they were gracious enough to bring a glass of wine. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about tonight's show. Guys, do us a favor. Hit up the comments. We got the chat right on the screen. So we want to hear what you guys think, any questions that you have for tonight's guests, and anything about the audio and video. We want to make sure we're bringing you guys the best possible production.
By the way, Mike, Joey, you just mentioned your wine, your American wine. I've also got some. We call this American wine. It's Coca-Cola. So I've got some American wine as well. We're missing one person, aren't we? I don't know where he. I don't know where he is at the moment. He's probably in a lay-by. He's on the hard shoulder of some I-4 or I-28 or whatever it is. Where are you, Lena Mike? Where are you?
There he is.
Man, I don't know. Week to week, I don't know where the hell I'm at. But I made it, boys. I found some kind of internet, so bear with me if the signal's a little bad. But we're doing our best, and let's get at it, man. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Mate, I'm so thankful for you being here, Mike, because I know you've been away from home for a long, long time. Just tell the audience, how many days have you been at home in the last month?
Man, I think I've probably been home for like 4 days. 4 days in the last 4 weeks, so it's been tough.
And second question, where can I get a wife like you've got?
The kids are here with me right now, and
really?
on the road too, especially during the summer. Yeah.
Hi, kids.
Right now.
Hi, kids. Okay. So, well, what a show we've got for you tonight. As we've already said, we've got all the usual features. We've got the caption competition. We're going to have a little bit of a chat about challenge matches, and I particularly want to bring up a subject about the length of them, because I really am getting annoyed now with these long challenge matches. I know you guys have got a different opinion.
You don't like the race to 120, Mark?
No, I don't. And look, this is what I'd love to get this, and I'd love to smack it over your head at the moment, Jack. No, I will. I'm just joking, of course. This is a new invention. Now, I've been inundated with people coming out with little new inventions for pool, little new bits of equipment, and we've got two new bits of equipment to showcase tonight on the show. So that's going to be really interesting. This is one of them. It's like a rack it's like a triangle without the thing. But look, watch this, guys. Watch what happens. Pull it apart. Now listen to this. Watch.
Magnet.
This is the Magna rack. So we're going to be talking about that as well a little bit later. So what do you reckon? Should we get our first guest on? And what a first guest it is.
Yeah. Mark, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce him.
I want you to.
Yeah, I had this guest on Pool Player Podcast. And, it's funny because he ran a pool tour back east. And right after I left the area, he comes in and starts running that tour. And I heard great things about it. And I was like, man, I wish I would have met him. And then I had him on the podcast, and we just hit it off right away. And I just love some of the vision that he has for the pool world. It's the CEO of CSI, Q Sports International. It's Ozzy Reynolds. Hey, Ozzy, how's it going, man?
How are you? Thank you for that kind introduction.
Yeah, man, we're so glad to have you. And, I'm really excited for some of the stuff that you got coming up. And, we want to hear all about it. But before we do, for the folks out there that really don't know too much about CSI, why don't you go ahead and kind of take them through what you guys are all about and what you guys do?
Sure. Q Sports International is involved in lots of things, but primarily it's the parent company of the BCA Pool League and the USA Pool League. But in addition to that, we do conduct amateur and pro events all over the country. You might even be able to say the world, but primarily the U.S. for now.
So tell people about the expo, Ozzy, because I know that's one of the big things on your calendar, and you had the COVID thing hit and everything. But tell everybody about the CSI Expo, when it's coming, and what to expect going there.
Yeah, so normally it's in the beginning of the year, in the March timeframe. Because of COVID this year, it got pushed to September 1st through 11th. It's the Q Sports International Expo, and it's comprised of the BCA Pool League World Championships, the USA Pool League National Championships, the Diamond Las Vegas Open, the Predator World 10 Ball, and this year we're also hosting the Junior World 9 Ball Championships. And we have 50 to 60 exhibitors and 6,000 to 7,000 players. It's really the pool extravaganza in the world, in my opinion.
Mark, I know you have something prepared for Ozzy, so you want to go ahead and ask him a few questions or do your
Yeah.
thing?
Well, I kind of had this idea. I do this for everyone, but I've just had another idea where I think I could maybe fly over to the States and I could maybe do this at every single expo. I could put on my little cap and show off my bling, and I can write a rap about anything, Ozzy. Honestly, I can, mate. And I've written one for you actually. So can I just perform it for you?
Yes,
And
but before you do, I want to tell you you're already invited this year.
That's awesome.
oh well, I won't bother doing the rap then because that was the only reason I was going to do it. Okay, this is especially for you, Ozzy Reynolds. Yo, yo, yo! I love CSI. I think you is clever. No one gets away with murder. You got your evidence together. Crime scene investigation, my favourite TV show. But tell me, how come so many victims are called John Doe? Anyway, I had some questions. I was only joking. I want to know about your tournaments, not choking dudes, but stroking. So tell me, Ozzy, what's going down? Give us the dates, the pool room, and the town. Yo, 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 two-piece Q, out.
Good job, bud. Mark, you're uninvited now, buddy.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. So Oz, he wants to know, what do you got coming up? Anything big?
Well, hopefully most people have seen the latest announcement about the U.S. Pro Billiard Series. That idea was really born well over a year ago. We all know that pro events on their own are very tough. But when you hold pro events in conjunction with amateur events, it works very, very well. There's a built-in audience, and you have the numbers to make everything work. It's tough to go into a venue, like a casino or a resort, for example, and ask for things if you're going to bring a 64-player tournament. That's just not very exciting. But if you're going to bring several hundred or several thousand people and have this pro event in conjunction with it, and the amateurs love it, they get to watch the best players on earth. The pros love it because they have a built-in fan base, and it just works. It works very well. So well over a year ago, we started fishing for people to assist in helping us hold pro events alongside most of our amateur events across the country. And Predator stepped up to the plate. They never hesitated. And it's been quite a bit of planning, and we're all a little bit frantic right now with the first event coming up in just a few weeks. But we did it. We have a series of events announced for this year, and hopefully a couple more added next year.
Yeah, and I'm flashing those up on the screen for everybody now, Ozzy, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I signed up for the one in Arizona, and I don't have big expectations or anything, but just the fact that it's a pro series, I'm really excited about it. Tell us a little bit about the format of these events, because I know it's a little bit different. And you and I kind of debated back and forth and talked on my podcast about, what's the right length of a race to kind of, make it exciting for people, but yet still make it so that, good players are going to come through. So tell us about the format.
So I'm probably going to gain a fan in Mark with what I'm about to say. As a spectator, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit. As a spectator, I never liked long races. You can just you can do the race to 100 if you want to. Fast forward to the last 6 racks, and that's what I'm interested in.
Man after my own heart. Man after my own heart, honestly.
And that's not just a personal opinion. I mean, the data sort of bears that out. Short races are exciting, and mistakes are amplified. And from a viewership standpoint, which, let's face it, there's not going to be real money injected into this sport without spectators. It's not about. It's not about.
I just want to interject here and say something. Sorry, Ozzy. Just while I think I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but these big races we see now, to race 120 with Skylar and Shane and Dennis and all the others that are doing that, we're bored of it. Well, I'm bored of it, and as you say, I'm a spectator, and I'd rather see. You've got 60 grand in the middle, let's say. I would rather see 6 players playing in the same venue, doing a race to 20 or 30 maximum each and playing for that money, rather than 2 players dogging it over 3 days for 60 grand, racing to 120. I'm bored of it. Honestly, I am.
Well, I agree. I will say the race to 100 and 125 or whatever, it has its place. There are lots of people that like that, and there's certainly nothing wrong with it. If that's what you like to watch, then I encourage you to buy all of those streams that are out there. But we're trying to do something different. Mm-hmm. We want to attract more spectators to the sport, not hardcore pool fans. You already have them. But we need a mass viewership, and races to 100 are not going to do it. So the format of the U.S. Pro Billiard Series is 2 races to 4. And if a player wins both sets, the match is over. If the set score is 1-1, then it goes to a race to 4 shootout, spot shot shootout.
Wow.
I've always said that I could beat anybody at race to 5. So, hey, maybe this is my tournament.
You never know.
Keep your headphones on there, Joey.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, do you have any questions for Ozzy?
I got a ton. I really do. For the World 10 Ball, it was one of this spectacular. You walk in, nothing but diamond bar boxes. You have beers on that, and then you get to the back. I mean, tournaments on the left and right, and then you have the main area. I mean, the whole thing was just incredible. And I've watched them championships. I got to want to clarify because I'm a diehard fan of the sport, but even I was a little confused. So first of all, is September going to be the World Championships then?
Yes, it is. Yes, okay. It is. The entire Q Sports International Expo is September 1st through 11th. The Predator World 10 Ball is on the back half of that.
So that'll be right before the U.S. Open then. So players are going to go from Vegas probably over to Atlantic City. So that's going to be great. Also, correct. For any vendors that are watching, I know I work with a couple of cue makers and buddies of mine who may be interested. Is the vendor list full for the Expo?
That is a great question, Mike. First of all, thanks for your compliments about our event. I appreciate that. We are reaching max capacity for vendors. However, if vendors were to contact us ASAP, we could squeeze them in. We have room for 2 or 3 more, but then we have to really get cranking on these floor plans and submit them for fire department review.
We'll be in touch, buddy, for sure on that regard. I just got to tell you, when it comes to the short races, I agree with you. Like, it's one thing for long races when it comes to backers, because anybody who's putting money in the pool can go and make their own rules, right? But when it comes to viewership and getting the masses to go and watch, you gotta have all mistakes be magnified, and those short races to do it. So when it's tournament, I'm with you. I want to see one little thing go and swing massively, one way or the other.
I just want to point out some of the folks commenting in here. Eric thinks so, says pretty exciting stuff. He wants you to add one pocket to the tour though, Ozzy. So what are you gonna do? Neil Salaway says hello all, and Larry, I'm not sure what match he was talking about. He said that was a historic match. I think he might be talking about the first Shane and Dennis match, or maybe even the second. They were both close matches. I'm not sure. And Nate Mindham stopped by and put the smiley faces in there. Thanks for stopping by, Nate. But Ozzy, before we bring in the next guest, I just wanted to point out something. And if you could work some magic for me on your end, I think this would be very important. So I'm going to bring up now just a screenshot of the entries, one section of the entries for the tournament in Tucson coming up. And I got a couple names highlighted here on this screenshot. And one is our buddy Chad Shoulders from Havoc Productions, and one is me. And you know what? He's pretty much the only player in the field that I feel comfortable playing, think I have a good shot against. So if you could go ahead and make some arrangements there that I played Chad in the first round, I'd really appreciate that. I know I can beat that guy race to 4. I don't know. Can you hook me up there, Oz?
If by some miracle that were to be the match with the draw, now we would have to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's
Gotta
funny.
have some integrity.
Yeah. No, but also, go ahead.
I would like to encourage. I won't belabor the point because you guys have other things to get to with your show. But I would encourage everyone to check out the ranking system for the U.S. Pro Billiard Series, which is going to be managed by Fargo Rate. It's way different than anything you've ever seen. The traditional way is you finish so high in a tournament and you earn points. Those points accumulate over a series of events, and then you have your top rankings. With this ranking system, that's just one component. Players will earn 2 types of points when they compete in a U.S. Pro Billiard Series event. They earn Fargo Rate points, and then they earn tournament points. Tournament points is the traditional way you would think. You finish 7th, 8th, and you get so many points for that. But we're also going to award points based on players' Fargo ratings. And the total number and distribution of tournament points and Fargo Rate points will be the same. And what Fargo Rate has determined, and they created this, it was a really brilliant idea. It allows for rising talent, to bubble up and climb in the rankings. But it also eliminates the possibility, and we've all seen it, where a top player has one poor showing or a really tough draw. Their first match is Dennis Orcolo, and their second match is Skylar Woodward. And boom, boom, they're out, and they have essentially no points.
Or Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan and Chad Shoulders. Yeah.
Chad Shoulders.
You know exactly where it comes from.
It's the same thing. So it eliminates the possibility of that, where you look at the rankings and, someone may have played world-class pool, but by just misfortune, they didn't finish very high in one event, and, they're 34th on the list. This eliminates that possibility. It really is a brilliant idea that Fargo Rate came up with, so I'd like to give them a shout out and a huge thank you for agreeing to manage our ranking system.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for laying that out for us, Ozzy. Look, I'm really excited for the event. I paid the entry. I'm going to play in it, and I'm going to try my hardest, but I'm really excited to see the quality of players that are going to be there. And the reason I even had that screenshot of the list is because I was going through there, I was looking at players, and one of the guests that we have on tonight, I was really kind of surprised to see his name on there. One, because Tucson, Arizona and Maine are like, you can't get 2 further places away, I don't think. And the other is just because he hadn't been playing a whole lot. So, Ozzy, I'm going to bring in our next guest, but I'd like for you, if you don't mind, just to hang around for a little while we continue to talk about the Predator series. And then once we get into talking with Mike a little deeper. If you want to drop off, you can. Is that cool?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Awesome. So let's bring in our next guest. It is Mike Dechaine. Hey, Mike. How's it going, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good,
yo,
good.
yo, Mike Dechaine.
Sorry, Mike.
No worries at all.
Two-piece queue in the house.
Oh, man. Mike, before Mark gets into his shenanigans, we got Ozzy Reynolds here. I know you were able to hear what was going on there with Ozzy and the Predator CSI series that's going on. Tell me, what were your thoughts about joining this event? It's out in Tucson, Arizona. I mean, how the heck are you even going to get here? And, what got you to kind of dust off the cues and come on out and play?
I just decided that I missed the game a little bit, and I thought those were great tournaments. Aussie, CSI, BCA, they always put on a great tournament. And I don't know now, though, race to 4. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do.
There's no refund.
I mean, at least alternate break.
Mike, you might not know this, but we just did the draw for the first tournament. We did the Arizona draw just now, and you've drawn Joey Ryan in the first round. What do you reckon to that?
That's easy.
Perfect. I'll be there. I got a couple questions for Ozzy. Is it alternate break?
Good question.
Oh.
It is. I'm gonna probably butcher this because all these events are running together on me. I believe it's winter break, but it alternates in the set.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I mean, so
fact,
from a player's perspective, that's tough.
So I break and run 4
That's tough.
on
The only
Mike.
reason is the 4-pack is nothing. You have one dry break in the second set, and then somebody runs 2 or 3. It's dead. I mean, it is. It's gambling, I guess. It is what it is.
Is it rack your
That's
own?
a tough one. That's a tough tournament.
That is really brutal.
Is it rack your own?
I think John Lehman's racking.
It's magic rack. It's gotta be a magic rack.
Yeah.
Wingball John will be there.
So here's what I know that there's going to be a lot of format questions coming from Mike and some of the other players, and they're going to want to. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Mike. Forgive me, but some of the players, maybe not Mike, they're going to want to gravitate towards what we have today: longer races, alternate breaks, no magic rack, whatever. Tighter pockets. They want to make it so that their skill level, because they're at the top, will always shine through, and the chance of a lower skilled player beating them gets drastically reduced. I get it. If I was a player, I would want that too. But what we're really encouraging players to see is the big picture and the long game here, not the short game. What we would like one day is for Mike and everyone else to be playing races to 4 for 5 million rather than 5,000. And we're not going to get there with what we've done in the last 2 decades. It's just not going to happen. So we're trying different formats. We want to make it short and exciting. Matches absolutely cannot take more than 2 hours. If they do, Bill, your TV's not interested. No TV's interested. It's too long, it's too boring, no one's going to watch it. So we want to inject excitement. There will be players of a lower skill level win occasionally. It's going to happen. But in the long run, the better players are going to win. The cream will rise to the top.
Ozzy, you haven't mentioned the 10-second shot clock yet.
10 seconds.
I don't think that would bother Mike at all. He's a pretty fast player.
Yeah.
I play fast, yeah. Yeah, I guess from a player's perspective, it all comes down to value. I mean, we're flying everywhere across the country to play. I mean, listen, I work full time, so this is just honestly, it's probably tax benefits from the way I'm playing right now. But from a perspective of actually going to tournaments to make money and have it be your job, that's tough. That's a tough tournament, and it's tough to go to the Arizona Las Vegas, Michigan, Ohio, then San Juan. You know, when you're stuck 10 to 15,000 in expenses and you're playing races to 4 to win 15,000 for first place, that's a very, very difficult tournament.
What
So,
job are you doing?
I get it.
Yeah.
Mike, what
I
job are you doing at the moment? What job are you doing, Mike? I'm interested. What are you doing?
I've been in sales for 5 years. I sell home goods, basically windows, doors.
Nice.
Give me your pitch. Give me your pitch. Come on, sell me a window. I need a new window. Look, it's leaking. It's all the English weather's coming in. Sell
Let
me
me
a
go grab
window.
my bag of rocks. Let me go grab my bag of rocks. I'll break one real quick. And you'll need it. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Hey, you know, Mike, it's funny that you're in sales. I'm in sales, and I've always said that there's so many pool players out there, and all the negotiating that comes with getting games and matching up and all that. That man, these guys should be in sales. There's a lot more money in sales, you know. So I just found it funny that you're in sales. Yeah. So
I want to say probably 80%, 90% of the players I've ever met, they were born for sales. Really, I mean, they're always trying to make a game or who knows, sell a pool cue. You know, it's really meant for them.
Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to mention that I think is kind of important. So obviously, you know, Ozzy, you're going to have a lot of folks. Well, first of all, whenever you have a pool tournament, you're going to have a lot of critics, right? And you know,
Really?
some players are going to, yeah, it happens apparently. But I think one of the things,
I love that response.
I think one of the things that we're seeing, not just from Mike, but if you go through the list of players that are already signed up for the Arizona tournament, is that, you know, there's people who may complain about the format or may have questions about it or wish it were a different way, but there's a lot of trust in what you're doing at CSI and trying to grow the sport. And, you know, I think, like you said, there's going to be a need for that trust, right? Because you were honest in what you said, that you want to see Mike Dechaine playing for $5 million rather than $5,000, right? Are you sensing that some of these players that have signed up are kind of on board and trusting that there's going to be more down the road, or are this going to turn into something bigger?
So the question about whether I think there's trust from the players, I'd love to say yes to that, but honestly, I don't know. I haven't had enough in-depth conversation with the players to know whether they trust what we're doing or not. I do suspect, just like Mike, there's an automatic repellent to, you know, the races to 4. One thing I'd like people to keep in mind, though, it's not single races to 4. It's not like it's double elimination. You lose 2 sets to 4 and you're done. One match is 2 races to 4, which is not very much different than a race to 8. But there's an added twist. If the set score is 1-1, then there's a shootout, which again, theoretically, the skill levels should take over in that case and win the match. But it's been proven time and time again that 2 shorter races is far more compelling for spectators than 1 longer race. And that's what we're trying to bring to the table without making the races ridiculously short for the players. So we're going to try this for the 2021 season. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to listen to all feedback, players, spectators, team members, and we'll reevaluate at the end of this for 2022.
Hey, Mike, how's your spot shot game? How you
I haven't
feeling
missed
about
a
your
spot
spot?
shot in about 4 years.
There you go.
I haven't really played in 4 years, but
Can I say something about Mike?
I was showing.
Yeah, sure, Ozzy, go ahead.
I'd like to say something about Mike Dechaine. And I've said this in the office before. Mike Dechaine, in my opinion, I'm going to get crucified by some people for saying this, has more natural ability than any player I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
He could disappear for 3 years in a drunken stupor and never pick up a pool cue and come back to the States and win his first tournament right out of the gate.
Are you talking about me or
I'm actually
Mike?
playing pretty good right now.
Hey, Mike, how does that make you feel hearing that?
You, Mark, you.
Oh, never.
No, you, mate.
Ozzy's
You.
not wrong. So Ozzy's not wrong. So No, really. I mean, I haven't really. I'm one of the players that probably kind of pisses other players off that I haven't put that much time into the game as much as I'm supposed to put in the game to play at the level I'm capable of playing at. So it's I think he's right. You know, I can come back and obviously I got a big head. You know, I mean, I'm confident I can feel good playing against anybody and probably beat somebody and do okay. So I don't know. I mean, let's see where it's at. Let's see if I can win a couple races to 4.
So Mike, that's a question that I was dying to ask you because you probably don't remember me, but when you were first coming
Yeah.
up, I'd see you at the Super Billiards Expo every year, and we play a few games on the challenge tables and stuff until I realized kind of how you could play, and then I'd go to the easier tables. But just watching your demeanor and the way you walked around, and just some of the things that people kind of who didn't really know you, they had this idea about you of being maybe a little arrogant. And I know at the top level of sports, you have confidence and you have arrogance, and sometimes it's a very fine line. Tell us how you walk that line, and do you have any regrets maybe for earlier in your career? Have you changed at all?
I did a horrible job walking that line, right? So I mean, obviously through my career, like I rub people the wrong way. There's no doubt, but I mean, I do it in a way where I kind of find it humorous, and I thought it was maybe humorous to them as well, but not necessarily true at all. You know, maybe a little misunderstood. So if I could take back some moments, I probably would, but I don't really regret it. I forgot the question. So where are we going with this?
No, it's just I think you pretty much answered it.
Talking. Never mind the question. Just keep talking.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it. I mean, listen. We're not all perfect.
What was that?
What's going on here?
That was my girlfriend. Sorry.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm probably not going to change. I probably haven't changed. And you know what's different is in pool, we're from what I noticed is everybody coming up and everybody I was around, we're all chasing, we're all competing against each other, trying to make that dollar. And of course, it's easy to set somebody off, especially if they lost, if they didn't like the way they played, if you made the wrong comment. The only difference I can see is that I have not changed a single bit. Right. I mean, obviously, I've gotten older, maybe a little wiser, calmed down a little bit. But I work with 60 men and 3 women at my job. And we all get along because everybody's doing well, team camaraderie. You know, we're all focused on the same thing. Kind of wish pool was like that. Wish everybody was killing it. And we all just saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully it becomes like that. Ozzy says, you know, hopefully like the San Juan event, he's going to pay off $5 million for first place. Let's really focus on that.
I heard him say that. I heard him say it. I don't know.
You know, Mike, you've just ruined my.
Well, listen. You know what's funny about?
Go on.
No, okay. So when it comes to pool tournaments, listen, I'm very grateful for these pool tournaments. I'm excited to go. You know, we've had $25,000 at tournaments for a long time, for like 30 years, 40 years. Everything else in the world has gone up, you know, like flights, hotel, food, pool cues. I mean, listen, you want to go buy a pool cue, it's $1,000. You want to go buy a shaft, it's $600 now. 25,000 is awesome, but we definitely need to get it up there because just the cost of living and expenses to get to these tournaments is ridiculous.
You know, I had a new nickname for you, but you've just ruined it all. I was going to call you Mike. I was going to call you Mike Dechaine, but now you say you're not. You're just going to be the same as ever.
You know, Mark, I know you. So, Mike, I don't know if you're aware of this, but for pretty much every guest we have on the show, Mark goes into his bag of tricks. And he comes up with a little rap for that guest. And, he's no LL Cool J from back in my day or, I don't know who's hot now, but he is Two Piece Q. That's his rap name. So he's come up with a little rap for you. And are you ready to do it, Mark?
I was actually born ready.
Oh, boy. Here we go, Mike.
Mike Dechaine, this is especially for you. And I wrote this from my heart. Yo, Mike Dechaine is in the house. You've been real quiet lately, as quiet as a mouse. Is it true you is coming out of retirement? Can you still hold a cue, man? That is a requirement. You was known. Stop laughing. There's more. you, you was known as the hitman. You are a legend of pool. When you pull the trigger, you is accurate and cool. I read you was in The Hustler. I thought it was Paul Newman. He was the good-looking one. Was you just the cumin? But I am happy you are playing. It's good you is back. One word of advice. Watch those other guys rack. I got a serious...
That's a good one.
I'll just give you a little bit of time for that one to sink in, yeah? Do you want me to do that line again, Mike?
Oh boy,
Mark, you got to rehearse these better.
I liked it.
Oh man, that was funny.
No, wait. I've got a serious question. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no? And finally, what's the most racks you ever run in a row?
Nice.
Pineapple, of course, on a pizza. It works. And I've ran 11 racks in 9-ball.
11? You're a monster.
Was that on a 9-footer, Mike?
That was on a 9-footer. That was when I was 18 years old. I was gambling in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever played for, Mike?
A lot of money.
Come on.
You know,
Tell me.
I don't know. In a day, I probably won 25,000. 25,000.
Wow. Can I borrow $10, please? I need to get a new app.
That was a long time ago. I don't gamble like that anymore.
Okay.
Hey, Melina, I know you're having some connection issues, but I know you probably have some questions for Mike.
yeah, I got a 2-part question. It's for both of them actually. So number one, Dechaine mentioned about the camaraderie again. So one, are you thinking about making a Mosconi Cup run? And two, is that Predator event like for the Americans, Mosconi Cup point event, the whole tour? I mean,
Ozzy, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go right ahead, Mike. You're the guest of honor.
So no, I have no plans to play on the Mosconi Cup ever. That doesn't interest me. So yeah, and I don't think I could ever be on the team again too. So why? Politics is a big one. And I mean, you have players in the United States. I mean, it looks like they pick whoever they want anyways, and I don't think I'm going to make that team just based off my reputation and what some people think my relationships are with other players on the team. You know, like I don't want to put the team in a bad spot. I'd just rather not play, right? I mean, the money, it's great. It's great money for a tournament, but it's not enough for me to go to Europe or play in Vegas and listen to all the BS afterwards. You know, I could care less.
Okay.
It was a great tournament.
Mike.
I'm glad I got to participate in it. I'm pissed if I never won.
Mike, you are now team captain.
Yeah.
You are Team America captain. Who's your team? Who would you pick right now?
that's a good question.
That's a tough one.
Come on. Come on.
I mean,
Joey Ryan,
I'd pick
obviously.
Shane, of course. Justin Bergman.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, there's really, in my opinion, I know I'm probably not coming off good tonight, but like, there's not a lot of great players in the United States. Like, there just isn't. I know that we had a couple. I mean, obviously Sky. I don't know how I missed Sky. And Billy's done well on there as well. I don't know if he'd be my first choice, but he's a fan favorite. And then I don't even think I can pick a fifth. Like, I don't know. Like,
Tyler?
I don't think there's.
Tyler?
I know. Maybe. Yeah, you know what? Tyler won. I don't know why they didn't bring him back. Like, in my opinion, they should have brought Tyler back. I don't know why they swapped him out for Chris Robinson. Maybe it has to do with his relationship with others. I don't know. I don't know if
you go off
I
of
haven't seen him in a
skill. I
while.
mean, he left the second best player in the States 4 years ago. He may have been number one. Who knows? But if you go based off the skill, how can you not have Mike Dechaine in that conversation? Politics out of it. If
Well,
you
number
go
one.
based off of playing on the table,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I'd be on it every year. But it's more than just ability. It's more. Playing under the light. I don't play very well under the television conditions. You have the heat from the lights. It's very slick out there. New balls, tight pockets, referee racking. One thing. Marking your rap. Like I know everything about the rack. Ozzy, is it rack your own or is it referee rack? What are we doing out in Tucson?
I'm not even going to tell you anymore.
Mike,
Ozzy's starting to work. Hey, Ozzy's,
Mike's racking every table.
hey, Ozzy's starting to worry that Mike's not going to come now.
There's no right answer because no matter what I say, then there's going to be criticism from half the players.
Oh, man. Oh.
There's not. I mean, no.
We're not going to rack
I
and
don't know.
break. Wing bolts on every table. Wing bolts on every table. Whoa.
Is my connection awful? Oh, you guys, my phone is dead.
All right, Mike. Well, hey, Mike, thanks so much for joining. Ozzy, stick around for 1 second, okay? Mike, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And best of luck to you on this comeback. And, who knows? I hope one day he is on Mosconi Cup again because, like Mike said, he really, for a long time, was really the second best player in the United States. And right now you can argue him, Sky, he hasn't been playing, but he's definitely in the top 5. There's no question about it.
Someone.
Mike?
He's a character, right?
He is a character.
Are we gonna? So is it gonna be a Mosconi Cup ranking event for USA?
I honestly don't know. I mean, that's up to Matchroom. I would assume so, but I'm not sure.
Okay, fair enough. Well, y'all are doing great things, man. I love going to Vegas and I love going to CSI. It's always top shelf, and I'm not saying that because you're.
Well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to add on to what Mike said earlier, Ozzy, because I think I talked to you about this a little bit, maybe through messaging or whatever. But, the thing that shocked me is for the last time I was out there, I didn't go the year that it got suspended with COVID. I was coming for the teams, but it got canceled before that. But the year before, when the Predator World 10 Ball was there, I was just shocked at the fact that I could leave my match and I could walk 50 feet and I'm sitting there watching Albin Ocean play Thorsten Holman, and it was amazing to me how few people took advantage of that and were actually watching the matches that weren't in the arena, right? So on the side tables, there's still amazing matches and amazing players. And so I thought you guys did a wonderful job with that. And I was really looking forward to that. And I am this year, being able to catch some of those matches there because it's just a great opportunity for players out there that want to see the best, right?
Well, yeah, I appreciate those comments. I mean, we have a pretty long history of doing pro and amateur events alongside each other. And now with the U.S. Pro Billiard Series, that's, being put on steroids a little bit. And it's not just once a year. It's going to be all year round. And it does work. We know that it works. So I would not be surprised to see others copy that, for lack of a more eloquent term. Amateurs and pros in the same room, in the same building, the amateurs watching the pros, getting to know the pros, becoming fans of the pros. Maybe they don't know who Thorsten Holman is, but they see him at one of our events and, they like what they see and now they're a fan. Maybe they get his autograph. Now he's got a fan for life. And this happens not just for one or two people. This happens with thousands of people across the country all year. Everybody benefits from it. So I would not be surprised if we don't see some emulation of what we're doing down the road.
Yeah. Ozzy, if I can just come in here very quickly, I'm a big advocate of the women's game, the juniors, and making characters and personalities out of the players that we've got now in the game. I just feel there's a big trick being missed here where, you know, I'm a pool fan. I'm a snooker player originally, but I'm into pool now, and I want to get to know the players. I want to know the player behind the. We just don't seem to get any interaction from the players. Do you think this is a problem, or can we turn it into something where we can start making some personalities and household names out of these pool players? I mean, I saw Sky Woodward eating in a restaurant the other day, and no one knew him. If he was a snooker player in the UK, everyone would be swarming. He wouldn't be able to go out on his own and eat. Do you know what I mean?
I absolutely know what you mean. I mean, I think so. There's not one answer to that. There's several answers to that. One is we have to make it less of a participation sport. That probably sounds weird coming from someone that runs a company that is primarily involved in leagues, and more of a spectator sport at the pro level anyway. Right now, even at the pro level, it's a participation sport. It's not a spectator sport. Yeah. Outside of just a couple events per year, we need to change that. The more spectators, the more these players get known, the more others look up to them as if they're on a pedestal. And Skylar Woodward and Mike Dechaine, they won't be able to go to a restaurant like that anymore, which may be a nuisance, but along with that comes money and fame and a good living and being able to make a good living doing what you love. That's what we all want to have happen. I don't subscribe to, it's the pros' fault for not promoting themselves enough.
No, me neither.
It's the promoter's fault for not promoting the players enough. I think we all need to row in the same direction. I will say we're not going to get there with people complaining about races to 4 and rack your own. We're just not going to get there. Let's develop an exciting format. This may not be the one. We recognize that, but it's a starting point. So let's try it. If it needs to be tweaked or modified, we'll do that. But we're not going to gravitate back to what we know doesn't work. We're not going to go back to races to 13 or any of that ridiculousness. Even 2 races to 4 will take 2 hours. You just can't have matches take that long. People won't watch it. And Billiard TV, which is about to launch, will be broadcasting this content live for free. This is not going to be behind a pay-per-view wall or anything. We want everyone to watch this for free and to have access to watch this so we can build that fan base. It's about the long game, not the short game.
Yeah, so Ozzy, tell us a little bit about... Oh, sorry, Mike.
Oh, sorry.
Go on, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was saying spoken like a true leader, man. That's that. To have that kind of perspective is just, it's incredible. Because most people in that position are like, this is how it's going to be. It's the right move. But you're saying, we're gonna go and reevaluate it after it's done. So that's incredible in my mind.
Thank you. There's a saying that I keep on my wall that none of us are as smart as all of us. So I really believe that.
Yeah.
Strong.
Hang on a minute. Say that again. I just want to write that down. Not all of us.
None of us are as smart as all of us.
Hey, Mark, this is recorded, right? It's going to be on the internet forever.
I know, but I want to use it tonight. I want to use it before I see the recording. I love it.
Joey, he doesn't watch this after the fact. He's still rapping.
He studies this, Ozzy. He studies it every Hey, in all seriousness, Ozzy, I don't know, the Billiard TV thing, I don't know much about it, but I do know, one of the folks in the chat asked, it's Bang Time Pool, who's a regular guest here, he asked about, how it was going to be streamed. So thanks for telling us about that. Tell us a little more about Billiard TV. I don't know if you know this, but you're in the presence right now of 2 pool commentators, and we're currently looking for work. So I don't know if they're hiring or whatever, but we've been pretty successful in our pool commentary. So, if they're looking for somebody, we're here. So tell us a little more about Billiard TV.
Joey, you may have gotten a commentary offer if you weren't on the players list.
I'm not on the players list. And by the way, can I just say very quickly, Ozzy, I think you are the American Emily Fraser. You are the American Emily Fraser.
I don't know how Ozzy took that.
Thanks, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Come on. He's doing big things for Paul in America.
Emily's great. Emily and I get along great. We don't look anything alike, that's for sure.
I've got a wig that I could lend you.
Ozzy, on Mark's rap to Emily, he asked her out on a date. It was pretty awkward.
I did. Yeah.
I'm sure she accepted.
No doubt.
He won't tell.
To answer your question, Joey. So Billiard TV, it was interesting. CSI has been building a library of content for years. We've been doing pro tournaments for years and live streaming it, both free and pay-per-view. But we have all of that archived. Most of it is on our YouTube channel. By the way, anyone listening that hasn't subscribed, why? We have over 100,000 subscribers, over 1,000 full match videos on there. It's spectacular. Anyway, there was a streaming, I call it a streaming channel that kind of diminishes what they do. Pretty much all of TV is streaming now. But there was a channel called For the Fans, and they sort of, their niche was, for lack of a better term, like niche sports. Maybe they had the women's football league and the, not the UFC, but some other brand of MMA. And they had all these different kind of sports, and it's called For the Fans. Well, they wanted to air some billiard content. So they do what most people do. They go to YouTube and they start searching, and they immediately land on us. Long story short, we made a deal with them. We provided them with some content so that they could run these full-length matches on For the Fans, which is on it's on lots of platforms, but the one I use is the Roku channel, channel 228, I believe. And they ran our content, I think, for 30 days. And they came back and said, wow, that dominated anything else they had put on their channel.
Wow.
The ratings were off the charts. Can you give us more content? Can you give us more content? So we've been feeding them content. You can watch our content on that channel now. But it did so well that the parent company of that channel, and they do lots of other channels, they're a big media company, they said, there's a market for a 24/7 billiards network.
I agree.
So that's what they are launching, and it's going to be called Billiard TV. They'll have content from lots of different companies and organizations and streamers, and Florian, I think, will be involved with his trick shots. It's going to be pretty spectacular. I believe it launches very soon, and they are going to be focusing on live content as well. So the Tucson event, fingers crossed, will be broadcast live on Billiard TV.
I hope I don't dog it.
I'm very serious when I say this. I mean, I'm a pool whore, right? I am a pool whore. I love it. It's my passion. There's nothing I think about apart from pool, and Joey and Melina Mike will tell you the same. I just want to get involved in as much pool as I can, and I'd love to commentate. I do a lot of commentating at the moment, but I want to get involved in a lot more, and I'd love to be a part of what CSI are doing and what the new billiards YouTube channel are doing. And we are called the Booth Brothers, and we called the Booth Brothers for a reason, because Joey and I met on a commentary for Havoc production. We shipped the cash, And Melina Mike, of course, as everyone knows, he is the pool insider. If anything's going on in pool, he knows about it. And we feel that us three together, we have a good passion between all of us that we want to give out to everyone in pool in whatever channel we can possibly do that. And I'm probably sounding like a real beggar now, but I really just want to work. All I want to do is work in the pool industry.
He knows what he's doing. He's a good commentator, Ozzy. So if you ever need somebody, look him up. Trust me, he brings that British accent and that color and the flavor to it that you don't get with us boring Americans.
I'm very jealous of the British accent because they don't even need to know what they're talking about to sound smooth.
Exactly. So he's like, you get both worlds. He knows what he's talking about, and he's got the British accent. So
I can also be an English teacher.
Yeah. So Bang Time,
Mark. You have
Bang Time Pool is asking when the billiard TV is going to launch. It sounds like, Ozzy, you're not quite sure, but maybe pretty soon.
No, we're not in the driver's seat of that. We're just a content provider, really. But I believe it's going to be in the next week or two.
Yeah, and he made a good comparison. He said it's like learning from the Golf Channel because that came out before golf was really that popular also, and so I think that's a really good analogy. But Ozzy, we have some of our segments that we got to get to. And I know you're busy, you got things you got to get to, but we really appreciate you being on, taking the time, especially, listening to Mike complain about races to 4.
It's good practice for Tucson.
Exactly. So thanks so much for joining. And, I, for one, I'm going to put up the graphic again and just show people I'm really excited about this lineup of events. And really, if anybody's a pool fan, I think they're excited about what you've brought to the table this year. 5 events, a total of $150,000 added. I mean, it's just awesome. The process to sign up was really easy. And, I wish you the best of luck, Oz. I hope.
Texas.
Yeah, if Mike wants one in Texas, let's put that on the wish list.
Yeah,
that's probably going to happen next year, just so you know.
Yeah, because you already have a CSI Texas championship, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Oz, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
I'd like to say a couple things before I go, and then I promise I'll jump off.
No worries.
Number one, I apologize for the ruckus that Reynolds security team made earlier.
Oh, that was you.
They're very protective of their territory.
Oh, I thought that was Mark White.
Right on.
Is that a Chihuahua? Is that a Chihuahua?
Right.
Those are three 10-pound trained killers. Secondly, although my daughter won't see this, my daughter's in Army basic training right now.
Oh.
That's why I'm wearing this. And whenever she does watch this, I miss you, and I can't wait for you to come home.
Oh, lovely.
Awesome.
Ozzy, show us one of your little security guards. Come on, show us one of your dogs. Let's see one of them.
Yeah, we want to see one of your dogs.
Come on, show us one of your dogs.
Apparently, one of them is at the door, but I can grab one if you really want to see him.
Yeah, we want to.
Mark,
we want to see one.
All right,
Mark. Hey, Ozzy, Mark made Florian show us a hole in his wall one time. So you got to show us
nice. All right, be right back.
All right.
Okay, mate. Just to remind you, while he's gone to get one of his security guards, we still have the winner of the caption competition to come. We've got a brilliant video. He was mentioning Venom there. We've got a terrific new trick shot from Venom to show you. And Mike, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion because we haven't had the chance yet to talk about Dennis and SVB, have we? So we're going to have a little chat about that as well and what's coming up in the challenge match. Of course, we've got Sky Woodward coming up against SVB as well. Oh, there he is, look.
Straight killer. Straight killer.
What is it? Jack Russell? Or
Straight
what is it?
She is a Papillon Chihuahua.
Wow, look at that Papillon. Watch her, she'll escape with a name like Papillon. She's going to escape.
Ozzy, take care, bud. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Ozzy.
Thanks for all the kind words.
Cheers, mate.
Did I cut him off? I hope not. I hope I didn't cut him off. Hey, I just got to tell you guys, listen, I got important plans tonight, so we can't go too long tonight because I have 7 kids in this house, and I promised them a pool tournament. So after this is over, we're going downstairs in my garage. We got my diamond table, and I got 4 kids in town from California, friends of ours, and my 3 kids, and we're going to have a pool tournament. I guess somebody will have a bye. But
how much you playing for?
I don't know. I'm not starting my kids down that gambling road.
Mike wants to open a book on that, I think.
Yeah, Mike, what's the line?
There he is.
You got my 10-year-old eating money. Oh, man.
Hey, guys, we haven't mentioned this in a while. The Jeanette Lee Legacy Fund is up to £248,105. I just thought I'd like to mention that very, very quickly.
Dollars or pounds?
Dollars.
Yeah,
dollars, yeah.
Dollars. That's awesome. Let's get 2 more thousand in there.
Fantastic.
Make it a cool
Yeah,
quarter
come
mil.
on, guys. Let's get to the $250,000. That was the target. Just $2,000 to go. Come on, guys. What's going on in the chat, Mike?
Push it.
Well, we got a bunch of people saying hi. What's up, Rubster? And Bang Time Pool. Thanks, Ozzy. Carly's in there. Carly McGee. She's in there
Carly.
every week.
Carly, I was at the Milton Keynes with. She gave me the ticket. Hi, Carly.
Yeah. And Stephen Wyatt says, bring one of those events to Texas. Stephen, Ozzy says there probably will be one soon. Okay. Because I think you kind of heard it in what he was saying, how he tries to match the amateur and pro events together. And because they already have a CSI Texas State Championship, they're going to bring it there unless they determine that Molina Mike is too bad of an influence, and then they'll stay away from Texas. I don't know. We'll see. Mike's frozen or something. He didn't even hear me pick on him.
I think he's abstaining.
Oh no!
Look, guys, we didn't cover the Euro Tour, the first event of the Euro Tour that happened last week. Huge congratulations to Anna Gradiznik, who won the first event from Slovenia. Congratulations to you. She was absolutely brilliant. She beat Pia Filler in the final, and of course Joshua Filler, Pia's husband, won the men's event. There he is. Look, right on cue. You're getting so good at this, Joey Ryan.
No real surprise there, huh?
Yeah, Josh. But you know what? You know what the funny thing was? There was no Kelly Fisher in it. There was no Yasmin Ocean, and there was no Margaret Fefalova, which is really strange. But I know why Margaret Fefalova. She blamed it. She said that it was because it was a COVID restriction. It could have been because I know that people travelling from the UK had to quarantine in Austria, where the first event was, of course, had to quarantine for 10 days. So she never made it. So what she did, she went sightseeing around the UK and picked up on some lovely photos of Margaret and Tyler. There they are. Look, Buckingham Palace, as I've renamed it, not Buckingham Palace, Buckingham Palace. There they are, the happy couple outside the Queen's residence. Oh, hello. And there's some nipples. There's some nipples on show there. Look, Tyler Steyer getting the nipples out.
I would just like to say that I objected to this photo. I find this photo a little racy, Mark. A little old horny British guy. Racy.
Oh, come on! That's hardly Benny Hill stuff, is it?
Benny Hill, absolutely. This is a family-friendly program, Mark. Okay, let's keep the nipples off of it. Thank you.
Yeah, but you call nipples on the pool table the centre pockets. They're the nipples. That's why.
No, they're titties. How do you like when Billy Thorpe was commentating? It's like, off the titty. Oh, that was funny. That's Billy, you know.
This American look good, Billy. One titty.
Oh man. Oh, that was funny. So what do we got, Mark? What's the caption competition? Want to get into that?
Yeah, let's do the caption competition. I just would like to. Oh, hello! Look, there he is. Tiger Woods. Now we had some ones that we cannot repeat, unfortunately.
It sounds like every week. Well.
Yeah, that this week was well. There was, as you can imagine, there was Well, here we go with the first one from Rick Glasscock. He says, I'll never listen to Molina Mike again. He said, I was a lock playing SVB, 5K a hole. Kenny Carfagno mentioned an interesting fact about Tiger, actually. He said, apparently he does play pool and also collects cues.
No. Really?
Apparently, yep, apparently so.
Kenny,
I wonder if
Kenny
he
would
uses
know.
I
Kenny's
wonder
a
if he
high end
uses a
dealer.
different. He might know. Yeah, exactly. He might use a different cue for every shot. You never know. It's what he does in thing. And yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with this week's entries, to be honest. After the Dell Sim scenario a couple of weeks ago, I mean, we got about 130 for Dell Sim for the whale in the pool. Well, what do you think of this one, guys? Mike Wong said, a lion would never cheat on his wife, but a tiger would.
Oh man.
I
I
like
mean,
that one. Give me that one.
It has nothing to do with the picture
it's
or
got
pool.
nothing to do with the picture or pool, but it's funny, right?
Hey, there's a documentary out on Tiger Woods right now, and I watched it, and it was kind of interesting. The way that his father kind of envisioned him, and it was big shoes to fill. So, I mean, the guy had a lot of pressure, growing up, and I'm not making excuses for some of the things he did, but it's pretty significant the impact that his dad had. Not always in a positive way, like having affairs and Tiger Solid out on the golf course, stuff like that. That kind of, how that sometimes these things can be generational. So anyway,
Okay,
sorry to bring the mood down.
no, that's fine. I was going to use this for something else, but no.
Good job, Joey.
Right, this brings us nicely to a new segment that we want to do. There's lots of you guys out there that love your pool, and you keep coming up with these lovely little new inventions to try and help the game a little bit more. And I actually tried this out. It's called the Magna Rack. Okay, have you got the video there, Joey?
Yeah, let's watch the video,
okay,
guys. Let's
watch a little bit of this video. Okay, we're recording. I've been given this triangle, I called it a triangle, by a friend of mine, Tony Curitan, who designed it and built it. So we're just going to do a quick review on it, and my friend John's going to hold the camera for us. So while I do this, so we'll just use the 9-ball setup for now. Okay, so just set them up loosely for now. And then, because this is on magnets and it's swivel, then you see what happened there. It goes nice and tight. Push up from the 8-ball there, pushing up on the sides, got them all nice and tight. Just open them up slightly. It does come apart completely. Look, there you see the magnet in action. It works for 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, whatever you want to do. I've used it before. One little criticism may be you can't really see where the spot on the one is, because so maybe a little mark on here would be a good idea, or something like that. Just a little, like they have on a snooker, on the square snooker rack thing that they roll up. They've got a little pointer that goes to the pink spot. So maybe something like that could be an improvement. But I think it works really, really well. John, if you want to break the balls up. Yeah, unfortunately, I clicked the wrong button there and we never got to see the break, but they did break really, really well. What do you think, guys? Do you like it, Mike?
I mean, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I like new products, but I've seen similar from. I got a buddy of mine who'll make custom water racks, and it's basically the same concept. But I mean,
okay.
Listen, if people want to go and buy it, they'll go and support it, man. So I like guys who are innovative. So more power to them.
Yeah, that's about $30. And if anyone wants any more info on it, they can get in contact with the Booth Brothers. Yeah, it's a good price, and it's solid wood, and it's nice. It's nicely made. It's something nice to have, right?
Yeah, my dad will buy it for sure.
If you don't like it and it's cold in the winter, you can put it on the fire and burn it and get a bit of heat off it as well. So it's a win-win for everyone, right?
I just like how that video kind of stretched you out,
I thought
Mark,
I was
and you had
moving.
this
God
like
damn, Mark.
skinny, long, weird look to you. That was kind of neat. Oh man.
That's the best I've looked in ages.
Yeah. What about that other invention, Mark? You want me to show that picture?
Yeah, just show the picture very, very quickly. Now, this is This is one of your guys in America, and hopefully he's in the chat somewhere, and he's going to put up the link to this. Hopefully, he
I've seen
hasn't
that.
fallen. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
I
I
kind
saw
of
it just
like
the other
that,
day. I
Mike.
saw an ad, I
What's his
think.
name, Mark? Do you know?
Yeah,
His name is Timothy. I will tell you it. Hold on 1 second.
Zarowski.
That's exactly right,
Yeah, he
Zarowski.
just said, Mark, enjoyed the show, but need to go. Thank you for the invite. So I don't think we're going to get the link up now, which is a shame. So we'll have to. Oh, it looks like it's longshotbridge.com. But
It is,
this
yes.
let me tell you, this bridge looks really interesting because one, the thing I hate about bridges is when you use them and you feel like they're going to scratch a cue or scratch a shaft. This looks like it has that nice felt around each of these little holes. And I don't know what it is. Whenever I use a bridge, I feel like I can't get the right angle to where, I'm going to use low left. Well, where do I put it? This looks like it has plenty of options for you where
Yeah.
you can use that. So a really neat little tool, I think, and worth checking out.
Yeah, and you can see that there's some completely spherical parts that you can put the cue through as well. And he tells me that it goes up to 13 millimeter, so I think that accommodates most cues.
You're not
Well,
helping the Benny Hill thing, Mark. Oh man, he said that the Etsy link above in the chat. So you guys that saw that, if you're in the chat, you see the Etsy link that Timothy put in there. Go ahead and check it out. Click on that and check out that little bridge. It's worth having in your case. I think it might help you.
yeah. Don't forget, tomorrow is Hump Day, so happy Hump Day to everyone. It's Wednesday. It's all downhill to the weekend. We're looking forward to that.
Mark,
Anyone else?
you just
Yeah.
learned about Hump Day like last week. You're
Yes,
acting
I
like
did.
you're a Hump Day expert.
I am now. I am now. That everyone's telling me about Hump Day. We never had this in the UK. I never knew it existed.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, before we finish, I want to make sure that we shout out the Board Lock Picker.
Yes.
Guys, the Board Lock Picker is our sponsor, brings us the technology here that we're presenting this to you on. He's a pool player. He loves pool and supporting pool. And all we ask is go to his channel when we're done here and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Great guy, loves supporting pool. If he gets a lot of subscribers, he'll continue supporting pool. Also, you'll learn how to pick certain locks, and it might come in handy for you one day. The Board Lock Picker, he's got over 7,000 subscribers. Check him out. By the way, Mike, what are we going to pick on this week? We got to come up with our picks. You got anything? Sky and Shane, you want to do that?
Guy and Shane, come on.
Look, Mike's
Come on,
acting like he hadn't thought about it.
What's the word? What's the word on the street, Mikey? Come on. What's the word on the street, Mike?
Look, Mark, let me tell you, I really have this.
There's
Look,
over
the thing about
600,000.
Look, I think Mike, since Mike, he's known to wager an occasional dollar or two. I don't think he's always forthcoming in here with his lock of the week. I think he's kind of using that and kind of throwing people off with which side he's going to bet on. So, Mike, how about an honest pick this week? Who do you like, Shane versus Sky?
I think it's a flip, man. I honestly do. Everyone say that Shane's 10-ball break is devastating, and it is. But Sky's 10-ball break on the bar box is pretty devastating too. My money's going to be on, but I think it can go either way.
How about you, Mark?
Over
what do you like?
$500,000 in there so far. So
I just think that, what is it? What's the race? 120? 150? What's the race?
8,000.
150, yeah.
What's the 150? I just think they should start at 145 each, and I have Sky winning by 2.
Mark, it's funny because you said I wouldn't agree with you, but I actually posed this question pretty recently in the Arizona Pool Players group. I don't know if you saw it, Mike, on Facebook, but I was basically like, do we really need a race to 120 to decide who's the better player out of these guys? Could we do 2 races to 125 or 2 races to 25 or something like that? And a lot of people brought up some good points. They said that this is more about the backers feeling like they have a fair chance, the people who are watching, the streamers making income from it. So all that makes sense, and I get it. And look, I'm not going to complain about more pull. It's just tough for me to want to tune in to the first day of a match that's going to 120. It just is. But I bought the stream. I actually bought Shane and Dennis, and got busy, had soccer, all bunch of stuff going on. Never even watched 1 minute of it, which is crazy. But I was relying on Molina Mike's updates. But here's what I got. Shane versus Sky. The winner will be someone with an S for their first name. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with Shane in this
on the limb, buddy.
Look, let me tell you something. I'm a huge fan of Sky on the bar box. I'm a huge fan of Sky anyway. He's just so down to earth, so cool. But, I really think with Shane, he needs to book a winner here. He's lost twice to Dennis in big matches. He was cruising through the World Championship, took a big upset. He was cruising through the Masters, took a big upset. Shane needs to book a winner, and I think this is where he does it. I'm going with Shane Van Boening.
Do you know, one very interesting statistic from those 2 big races between Dennis and SVB, 474 racks played and only 6 racks between them, those 474 racks. I just think it's time for those 2 to say, right, okay, we've found out who the best player is over a long distance. It's nothing in it. Dennis has won both, okay, but by nothing really over that larger race. I would love to see a race to 21 between them. That's what I want to see. Forget the 150s, 120, 100s. I want to see short races. When I say short, I mean 21. I think that's far long enough. Joey, there's lots of more comments in the chat. Can we just go to the chat once more because they are, of course, the important people.
Yeah, so Stephen Wyatt said if you opted to not buy Shane and Dennis on the first day, you would have missed that 10-pack. I did buy it, and I did miss the 10-pack. So, yeah, I gotcha. Anybody think 10-ball bar box could be more? Eric thinks so, says, anybody think 10-ball bar box could be more entertaining on a 9-foot than on a 9-foot? Much more clusters, less break-in runs, which means more drama. I think he's got a point there, but I do think there will be more break-in runs just with the fact that there's going to be easier shot making. There are going to be more clusters, but these guys are going to work out a lot of those clusters. And then Stephen Wyatt says, Sky said he offered Shane multiple different bets against his hair, and Shane wouldn't take any of them. Is he confident? Question mark. Molina, you know anything about that? Or you don't want to say?
No, I mean, it got joked around at the beginning, but I don't think it's ever going to be anything serious. I mean, Shane don't really have a whole lot to go and wager there against Sky anyway, right? So
not on there. He doesn't.
No, but yeah, I mean, just to touch a point when it comes to like these long races, it is about the backers and what it is that they want to do, and also the streamers. I mean, these guys, on top of putting on the event, they're paying the players too. So there's a lot of overhead when it comes to stuff like this. So by having these races go over 3 days, it's generating revenue to help offset those costs. So there's a lot of factors that go involved with it. I support Mike and them, whatever it is that they do, and I'm also a sponsor of it. But I wouldn't be a sponsor if I didn't like it. But rotation can be kind of tough sometimes. I know it can be, especially when it's the same patterns over and over again, and it's kind of hard to stay engaged early on when it is such a long race. So I can understand,
I'm not. Look, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to give both sides of it. And I think from a viewer's point of view, we want to see the end of. If you can buy 3 days of that, I would buy day 3. I wouldn't bother buying day 1 and day 2. But that's just me personally. But it's something I've heard a lot from people.
There's plenty of matches that go on that players either don't want streamed, or they don't want to deal with that headache, or they don't want to be having the whole world go and watch them. So I mean, it's a give and take. And at the end of the day, if it was just them two putting up their money, they can go and play at some back table and no one will ever know, and they can figure out who they think is the best, to that race. But when the backers are putting up, and I saw it, I mean, it's going to be it's over $500,000. So when you're talking about that kind of money, and they both sides agree to a game, let them go and play. So
I'm just jealous I wasn't there, Mike.
I may
I'm
be out
jealous.
there.
I'm jealous I wasn't with you, mate. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Well, Mike got sick. He didn't even catch the whole thing, right?
Hey, listen, I spent one day in a hotel, and then I went back the last day. So trust me, I'm pretty sick about it too. So.
Hey, Mark, what's this last thing we got on the agenda here? Podcast coming with some huge names?
Yeah, I really want to just talk about this. There was a huge debate started on Facebook, which I got involved with, and it was, what is the most difficult cue sport? Is it carom, three cushion? Is it pool? Is it snooker? Is it billiards? What is the most difficult? And what I've managed to do is get hold of a world champion from each of those, and we're just trying to secure the lot. I'll tell you who I can mention now. We got Venom going to join us, being the world trick shot champion. We've got Kelly Fisher going to be joining us, she's won multiple world titles at billiards, snooker, and pool. Of course, she's the reigning women's 9-ball champion. We are very close to getting Mark Selby, the reigning snooker world champion, as well, and also the three-cushion carom, player, Frederic Cordron, also trying to put this together. As you can appreciate, the different time zones and getting everyone together at the same time is very difficult, but we are working on it. It is going to happen, definitely. 100% is going to happen. It's just when. But it's going to be a great conversation, and we're going to have all these world champions in, giving their case, stating their case, why this is more difficult. Or maybe it's not. Mark Selby's won the English 8-ball world championship at pool. He's won the world snooker championship 4 times. Kelly Fisher, as we know. Also, Frederic is the reigning carom ball champion. Venom is the reigning world trick shot champion. So to have all that talent in one room and to get them to just debate it's just going to be a great conversation that everyone can get involved in. And if anyone's got any questions, we want to hear them, and it's going to be great. And I can't wait for it. And it will be happening soon.
Mark, it might be one of these where everybody points the finger to the other cue sport. The snooker player says pool's harder. And, I remember with Kelly, she's like, potting balls is harder in snooker, obviously. But the strategy and the game of 9-ball is harder than snooker, So it's kind of interesting. But
I mean, has anyone seen that graph that they put on the top 60 most difficult sports? Has anyone seen that graph?
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Stupid. How stupid is that?
Billiards number 59. Like baseball is like number 10.
Is it really?
I mean, baseball's hard, man. Try to hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball.
And golf is something like 54 or something.
Yeah, they don't know what they're. And football is like number 3.
About.
How's football?
Soccer.
American football is like number 3 hardest. And I'm like, how's that? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
No, I don't know.
Well, I think we got to wrap, guys. I got to go downstairs and be the tournament director to this 7-player tournament. We're going to be running downstairs. It's going to be top-level talent, the next generation of pool champions coming up right through my garage.
Are you streaming it, and how much is the pay-per-view? I would like to know, please.
No, I can't stream this. I don't want to kill anybody's action. Guys, what a great episode. Mike Dechaine, he was awesome. Ozzy Reynolds, he was awesome. Learning about the new series coming up. It's going to be great to see Mike out there, and I know a lot of people, they have their opinions about him. He tends to be in some circles maybe a villain, or, some people are big fans of him. But it's just going to be great to have him out there because you have an 800-level Fargo player in the United States who we haven't heard much from lately. So I'm excited to see him back out there, see what he does, see some of the other great players out in these CSI Predator events. Including, some guy from Gilbert, Arizona, who's going to be out there letting his stroke out.
Shameless plug.
I'm
And
just kidding.
we do wish Mike Dechaine all the luck in the world. He was a great guest. So was Ozzy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed tonight, guys. It was so much fun. We'll be back next Tuesday when our guests will be some guys who have come up with this brilliant new app, Salotto. I'm sure lots of you in America know about it. If you don't know about it, tune in next week. And hopefully, and I am going to say it, and I don't care if I look stupid if he doesn't come, hopefully we can have Sky Woodward because he will be playing the challenge starts on the 9th against Shane Van Bonen. So hopefully on the 6th, Deborah Woodward, if you're listening, please ask your son to come on the show next week. We need him. Okay, thanks very much. Have a great night, whatever you're doing. Good luck in the competition, Joey. Thank you so
Okay.
much for watching, everyone.